Good morning, Course 2. It's your teacher, Mr. Belky, back with another exciting lesson just for you. Today, we're taking a look at similar triangles and indirect measure. That's lesson 97 in your book on page 668. Let's get started. I've drawn a couple of triangles here, and I've also demonstrated that a couple of the angles are identical. Now, how do we do that? How do we show that? Well, this one has one tick mark, so that means it's the exact same measure as this one over here. This one has two marks, and so that means it's exactly the same as this one over here. Okay? And what I also know is if this is the same as this and this is the same as this, then this angle will be the same as this angle. So what does that mean? Well, that means if we know that these two triangles are similar, then we can find out some of the other missing information. Because the lengths of corresponding sides of similar triangles will be proportional. So, what does that mean? Well, let's look here. If this was a 3, 4, 5 triangle, and this was a 6, 8, and we didn't know what this one is. Let's say this is A, okay? These sides are proportional, so I could say this side lines up with this side, 3 is to 6, as, and we want to find out what this is. So 5, put the small triangle on top, small is to big, as small is to big, okay? Now, we don't know what A is, but we can figure out what A is because we can simply cross multiply and divide. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So I know that A equals 10. You can also see another relationship here. 3 is half of 6, therefore 5 is half of 10. Okay? Let's take a look at example 1. There are two triangles there. Let's see here. Going this way and going this way. All right, there are two triangles. This is 3, 6, 5, and this is A and 10. Now, I got to check and see if these triangles are in the same position. This one has one tick mark, and this one has one tick mark, so those two are the same. That means this side is the same as this side. This has two tick marks, and this has two tick marks. So I know this side and this side are the same, and I know this side and this side are the same. Okay? So now I can set up a proportion. 6 is to 10. 6 is to 10, as 3 is to A, as 3 is to A. Okay? Now, as I look at this, 6 is not half of 10, but it's proportional to 10. So what I can do is cross multiply, 10 times 3, and divide by 6. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And I can see if I reduce 6/10, I would get 3/5. So length of side A is 5. Now, you can apply this using indirect measure to try and find things that you normally wouldn't be able to measure. For instance, the height of a tree. Okay, so I have this tree here. It's a beautiful tree. Okay, but I don't know how tall it is. But what I do know is I can see the shadow of this tree, and I can measure the length of that shadow. Now, I'm also here, and I can measure my height, and I can also measure the length of my shadow, okay? And the shadow length will be proportional to the height. So basically, I have a triangle here, and I have a triangle here that are proportional, okay? So if I know my height, let's say my height is 5 feet, and my shadow is 10 feet long, and I can then measure the tree's shadow and find the tree shadow is 30 feet long, I can find out how tall that tree is. simply setting up a proportion. 10 is to 30, just as 5 is to x. Okay? And then I can cross multiply and divide. 5 times 30, 0, 1, 5, divided by 10, 15 divided by 10, or 150 divided by 10 is 15. So the height of this tree is 15 feet. Okay? That's it. If you have any question, please call, text, or email, or you can join me online tomorrow between 9 and 10 for a live question and answer session. Here's a bonus for you. Find a tree out in your yard somewhere and use indirect measure to figure out how tall it is. All you have to do is measure its shadow, the length of its shadow, and you have to measure the length of your shadow, and then you have to measure how tall you are, and you'll be able to calculate how tall that tree is. Comment below with the different heights of your tree in the comment section for this lesson. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you back here tomorrow.